EU's mask slips as bloc still paying price for rash mistakes made at Maastricht. The EU is still paying the price for mistakes made in the Maastricht Treaty negotiations as integration was rashly entered into, and expert analysis suggests it left the bloc with sufficient competence to attract the blame for failure, while lacking the ability to actually solve complex problems. The EU has attracted widespread criticism for its handling of the coronavirus vaccine rollout, as Brussels has been accused of being too slow. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen even admitted that the EU is a tanker compared to the UK's speedboat when it comes to immunisations. The bloc finds itself in an identity crisis in the wake of Brexit, as many of its structural failings have come to the fore. Even in the early days of the pandemic crisis, institutional squabbling threatened to destabilise the EU as states clashed over the so-called Coronavirus Recovery Fund. In the end, it was German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron who had to drag the bloc to its senses as member states agreed on a €750 billion £668 billion sum to be used as loans and grants to the countries hit hardest by the virus. The remaining money, described as the first step towards a fiscal union, represents the EU budget for the next 7 years. But many of the existential problems Brussels faces arguably date back to Sir John Major's time as Prime Minister, and the signing of the Maastricht Treaty in December 1991. Maastricht saw the European Community evolve into the European Union with 12 member states initially. It also laid down the groundwork for economic and monetary union with a single currency at its heart and new rules on inflation, debt and interest rate regulations. After a number of alterations and political maneuvering, it was finally ratified on November 1, 1993. Its place in British history is well known, as Professor Anand Menon pointed out that Maastricht was both a triumph and disaster for Britain's place in the EU. He wrote, "Sir John played a blinder at the summit. He secured not only an opt-out of economic and monetary union, ensuring that it would be up to Britain whether or not to join the single currency, but also the removal of the social chapter from the body of the treaty itself. He also played a critical role in the creation of the pillar structure that maintained key policy areas such as defence policy and immigration separate. Britain emerged having secured exceptions from those bits of the treaty it most opposed. Yet Maastricht represented a turning point in our relationship with European integration and contributed, albeit indirectly, to our decision to leave.